Hey everybody, welcome to Who Gives a Shit, the podcast that asks the most important question.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Who gives a
today
shit?
we got a special guest today. We got Tab Burt. Tab, pleasure to meet you, man. Been listening to you for a long time.
Great to be here. I've been listening to you guys since you started this show.
Yeah, I was super stoked to hear that you listen. It's really weird to hear someone that you enjoy their content, enjoy your content. In fact, I mean, I've been listening to your show so long. You know, there's aspects of your show that I really like. So, you know, good artists create, great artists steal.
Too true. I described your show to Tim. I was like, yeah, I mean, they pretty much just stole our whole deal of, bringing in stuff and talking every week. But, we stole it from Biggest Problem in the Universe. So can't really complain.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I thought. Whenever you had plugged it on your show, I was like, "It's great, it's great." And so CJ, how's your week been going, man? I know you got some shit going down later in the week.
Yeah, I do have a surgery coming up. They're working on my foot. Right now, I have a crooked foot, so I can't really bear weight on it. And that makes it hard to get into the shower and stuff. So hopefully with that I'll be able to, stand straight and at least bear weight. But I've been going on the poker run of my life, man, just going to all the games. There was one I went to on Friday where my dad had to carry me down the stairs. I've been going to all the showholes that I can gamble in. And something really interesting happened to me earlier in the week. I left a voicemail on Who Are These Podcasts about a week ago, talking about how Eric Zane sucks, because he does suck. He's a Michigan Morning Zoo guy, and he does a lot of the opiisms with the high pitched and just out of touch boomer stuff. And he was actually the reason I discovered Bluetooth headphones, because our bus driver at the time would listen to this guy. And I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. I need to get some Bluetooth headphones, put a real podcast on. And anyway, I called into the show to talk about how much this guy sucks. And in turn, Eric Zane played it on his podcast, and now he wants me to come on his show and talk about how much he sucks, which I gladly will do. And I commend you, sir, for reaching out to me and not just, blocking me like a stuttering John would do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is. It's nice to see someone that can actually fucking take it in stride. Who knew? Well, fuck. Well, that's fucking awesome. Well,
so are these, I thought you guys were totally shut down where you are. Are these like backdoor speakeasy poker rooms you're going to, CJ?
Yeah, these are not government regulated. They're not on the books. They're usually just the house of the person that's running it. Sometimes they're rental properties. I know there's one I go to that's in an apartment that a guy rents. And the one downstairs, it's like a shed in the boonies. It's like a tool shed. Huh. And we just use a room in there for the poker table.
Nice.
That's fucking awesome. Well, so, Tab, how was your week, my man? How's it been going?
It's been going pretty good. I've been doing the Dick Show weight loss challenge, so that kind of sucks. I've been going to the gym again. I stopped going to the gym last year when they locked me out of my gym that was attached to my apartment, and then when gyms opened back up, I had moved to a house that I didn't have a gym membership built into my rent anymore. So I got a new gym membership. I've been going to this gym, and it just sucks. All of it sucks. It's just getting sweaty. I hate all of it. I wish I could just go back to work. But
Yeah.
I spent a year sitting around and drinking instead of like doing anything important and constructive. So now I got to undo a bunch of that.
Yeah, I can see that. And that work for me has been absolutely fucking insane. There is so much shit that people want all the time. Like, because oil prices have been going up. There's so much crap that they want for the oil field that I've just been fucking working my fucking ass off. And I've been filing patents. Like, for a little while, I thought that we were going to have some fucked up scheduling issues because today I was supposed to be meeting with my lawyers about my patent. And they, like, I was like, I gotta reschedule. I got obligations. They're like, no, we can't. Well, then they fucking called me yesterday. Like, well, now we have to reschedule. I'm like, really? Fucking.
Now that it's convenient for you guys to reschedule.
Yeah, fuck me. That's how it's going because it's two different groups of lawyers that I have to. It's fucking convoluted. The licensing deals about this shit is so fucking it's so fucking insane. but that's been my week. Oh man. Although I did get NVIDIA Broadcast to work, and that shit's fucking awesome. The AI noise canceling stuff. It's fucking amazing. I could have a fucking fan going in the background right now. You'd never know. It totally.
That goes on your mic inputs.
Yeah, it's just a AI. It's software that's running, and it creates a virtual mic output. And so it just takes the hardware input from everything, and then it just cancels out a bunch of shit. I was recording the Rich Dickman show during a fucking thunderstorm, and you couldn't hear any of that shit. It was fucking amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you have to have one of those RTX cards to get it to work right. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So, announcement. We got stuff going on. Our Patreon is up. Patreon.com/WGA shit show. That thing is live, and we didn't even tell people about it, and people already signed up.
We have, I think, $15 worth of people signed up already, so that's great to hear.
Yeah, we got three patrons, and we got 4 tiers. So for $2, you can get in on the video feed. After we get done with this, we'll upload it to the YouTube unlisted, and then we'll shoot it out to all the patrons so they can watch the video feed. For $5, you get a Discord invite to our Discord. You get a special role, and then we're also going to record a monthly bonus episode, the Cripple and Convict show. So an advice show from a cripple and a convict. And also, once a month, we're going to have a movie commentary called Blooper Wheels. And fail that, we'll either have extended versions of Tales from the Short Bus or a story from prison from the Diary of Anne Shank. And lastly is the $20 not an ableist tier. And that's where you get a special role in our Discord, and you'll have your own special chat. We will listen to you. If you say something, we'll listen. We'll try to accommodate you. Just like the government accommodates CJ, we'll try to accommodate you.
That's right. And unlike the government, we'll actually get your requests done, and we'll do some work. So,
all right. So, let's get into the show itself proper. So, let's see. Tab, you want to go first, man?
Yeah, sure. So I've got a headline here. If you guys want to guess the news article, it's probably one you won't have heard of, but this is the headline. This week in coronavirus, who doesn't want the COVID-19 vaccine? White rural Republicans.
Ooh, man, this sounds like some fucking CNN style bullshit, although it has some MSN tinge to it, but it sounds like it's written by a woman, though.
It's a Brett. Brett Kelman.
Brett? Oh, what? Oh, God.
Oh, man.
So it is a guy.
Is it the Telegraph? I'm going to walk in the Telegraph.
You're close. It does start with a T.
What?
Yeah. Oh. So it's actually a local. It's a local-ish, a regional. I think
so is
paper.
It like the Tulsa Times or something?
It's the Tennessean.
The Tennessean.
Yeah, from Nashville, Tennessee. this article, they're talking about 69% of Tennessee's white rural conservative residents say they are unwilling to be vaccinated against the coronavirus, suggesting this state faces a steep obstacle in one of its largest demographics, according to new survey data released by the state government. These new results align with numerous other polls conducted across the nation, showing that Republicans, and specifically white rural Republicans, are the American population most likely to not be vaccinated. That's a real problem for Tennessee. If you take a good look around and start counting rural Republicans, you'll notice that we have quite a few. If the state faces a likely future where the virus lingers in unvaccinated pockets in its reddest counties, infecting and killing long after it should have been stopped. And then it just goes on to give you a bunch of breakdowns of like what things are available and different percentages of people. But
yeah, this does sound pretty annoying because they're just trying to concern troll people into getting vaccinated when if they are in rural counties, they're in the middle of fucking nowhere. It never really hit these places that hard to begin with.
And that's my question as to who gives a shit. Who gives a shit if these white rural Republicans aren't getting vaccinated? You don't like them. So if they all die from this virus you think is so bad, doesn't that create a better world for you?
I think it's about trying to get people to comply more than anything else. They have their idea that every single person everywhere has to get the vaccine, and they want to make sure that everyone does.
I agree completely. This has been my big argument for like the last year when it was lockdowns. Like, why can't you just stay home if you're afraid, and I will not stay home because I'm not afraid? And it was like, well, no. I might have to go, you'll infect my DoorDash delivery driver, or you'll infect me at the grocery store. It's like, so I have to stay home so that you can get DoorDash delivered? Like, that's ridiculous. And then with the masks, if I'm not wearing a mask and I die from being sick, isn't that my just desserts? If I'm not vaccinated and I die, why do you care? Why do you want to protect me? I don't want to protect you. Why do you give a shit about me? I don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, I don't I think the reason they're writing all these articles about this is because they know they can't compel people to do this. You're not going to be able to. There's been a lot of cases about trying to force people to get vaccines, and they try to get toeholds all the time to make people do it, and they have not been very successful at it because, I got rights. And that's actually my take about vaccines in general. Whenever people ask me about the vaccine thing, I'm like, it's none of your fucking business. I got a right to privacy, and I don't want to fucking talk about it.
Well, my article goes into this a little bit too, but this rollout of the vaccine has been such a miss that they're basically just panicking and grabbing at straws with headlines like these. I mean, what Tab said is right. In their eyes, who they hate are the white and male conservatives in rural areas. So if you really think that this virus is real and it's actually killing people, which I don't think it is, by the way, because I've been on a wait list for a handicap room at the nursing home, and in order to get in there, you have to wait till somebody dies or moved out. And I've been in there for 3 months, and nobody died. And all I hear about is how coronavirus is killing all the old people.
The trying to get compliance. I have this other article here from CNBC talking about the White House spent several $1 million to run ads on NASCAR, country music television, and shows like Deadliest Catch in order to target these people, these white rural Republicans who are not interested in taking a vaccine. And like you said, the rural areas were not hit in nearly the way that the cities were because you have population density. That's what it comes down to. It's like you're pushing so hard to gain compliance from people who probably wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire, and you wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. So what? Just let them die. Just let them die. That's been my philosophy with anti-vaxxers forever. For the people that they don't want to do the MMR vaccines on their kids because they think it causes autism, just let those kids not get vaccinated, and then when they die, they won't have more dumb kids.
Now, there is a flip side to it. It's a little bit more nuanced than that, because there is a herd immunity aspect to things where it's important, but it really doesn't matter all that much. And this thing is contagious enough. You're not going to be able to get rid of it. It's endemic now. It's around. It's going to be around. You can't eradicate it. It's going to be there. So this idea that you can get everyone vaccinated and it's going to go away, it's never going to go away. It's always here. And I do believe that enough people should get vaccinated that it really curtails like how bad this shit is. But that's everyone's own personal choice as to how they want to do that. And they got to make their own risk versus reward assessment about that. Now, I do reap the rewards of some herd immunity because I never got vaccinated for whooping cough because I was like allergic to the vaccine. There was something that was wrong with it where I couldn't take it as a little child. And, I didn't hear about this, by the way, from my folks until I was fucking 32. And I'm like, you never wanted to fucking mention that to me? I might have wanted to know. I've never even heard of anyone fucking getting whooping cough, but I would have liked to know.
I've heard of my protest against the whole herd immunity thing, though, is that they're saying with this specific vaccine is they don't know how long it lasts. They're like, it might be 6 months. You might need one every year. You might... There's so many unanswered questions to how it even works that to me, it's like, it'd be like if I took my car to the mechanic and they said, we're going to go ahead and replace your transmission. And, there's nothing really wrong with your transmission right now. We're going to replace with this other one that may or may not sometimes shift into first gear. It's like, well, why though? My transmission's fine. For public safety. Just in case you want to run through a crowd.
There are people that are at risk that are willing, that still don't want to take the vaccine. I'm friends with a guy. He was in Vietnam. He was a helicopter pilot. He was a captain in the Army. And he said to quote his father, when it was come to the Army Air Corps, you never want to fly the Model A. and you know what? I respect that. The guy's at risk and he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't know how it's going to play out. And you know what? That's his choice. That's totally fine. Now what is fucking annoying is all these people that are on social media, like going like, hey, check out my vaccination card. I'm like, I don't fucking care, man. Like,
I love those people. They give lots of information for people if they want to potentially make fake vaccine cards for some reason.
Yeah.
Not that you'd want to do that, but if you did.
Like, I don't know. Just people oversharing their personal life in general always fucking bug me. Like, I don't have social media shit. Like, I just kind of opted against it. And the reason I did that is because I was disconnected for so long. I was disconnected from 2010 to 2015. And when I got out and I saw just how interlaced it was with everything, I was like, that's not for me. It seems like people are just fucking zombies in their phone. And I know it kind of sounds like a boomer thing to say, but I wanted to actually live a real life. And it's only gotten worse as time goes on.
Much worse. I
don't think you're really missing much on Twitter apart from OJ's Twitter account. That's one of the greatest things on the internet. But apart from that, Twitter's not really. It doesn't provide much of value.
I abandoned Facebook in 2013 or 2014, and my life has been measurably better ever since then.
Yeah. Well, damn, that's some good shit. Well, you got anything else to say about these fucking vaccines and the hesitancy that people have to take them and the shaming that's associated with it?
I just want to say, I think if everyone lived by this mantra, the world would be a better place. Mind your own fucking business. If you want to get the vaccine, get it. Please do. Go get all of them. Get the Moderna one, get the Pfizer one, get the Johnson & Johnson one, fly to Europe and get the AstraZeneca one. Just like fucking pack yourself full of vaccines. Just jerk vaccines off all over your face. But for people who don't want to do it, for people who don't want to wear masks, for people who don't want to socially distance, just like fuck off and mind your own business. You'll live happy just living in ignorance, and I'll live happy being left alone. And we don't have to get in any kind of confrontation in the grocery store.
Yeah, no shit. At least things are easing up, man. About a month ago, I went to a restaurant, and they didn't have their sign up that said you have to wear a mask. And I was like, I'm going to go in there without one. Let's see what happens. I walked in this place. Nobody's wearing a mask. It was completely maskless. And
when you're like me and you can pull your best Walt Jr. impression, that's the time to do it. Is when somebody confronts you about a mask, you just go, "Aah!" And then they're off you immediately.
Fortunately, stuff's been pretty lax here. They have the signs everywhere. I've been all over town, tons of buildings. I don't even have a mask. And most people are like, well, I just have one in the car just in case. I don't own a mask. I don't own a bandana. I don't own any way to cover my face. And so far, I've only been kicked out of a handful of stores. And I just mentally make a note to never go back there again.
Yeah, I just try to avoid it in general. Like, as soon as I knew that people were going to start acting weird, I'm like, all right, this is just like anything else. You got to bust your maneuvers carefully and make sure that you're not going to be in some place where people are going to fuck with you. And thankfully, in Texas, people are a lot more inclined to fucking mind their own business. But the only things I've really had to worry about were like gas stations. And like even like fucking podunk Walmarts never gave a shit, really. Like, they would kind of freak out a little bit, but they know that fucking with someone is a lot more unhealthy for your health than the coronavirus. So
yeah, Walmart was one of the first companies that did a mandate, and then I want to say like 2 days later they released their employee guideline, or their employee guidelines got leaked, and the employee guideline said if someone's not wearing a mask, just leave them alone.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's perfect. You put up the sign, I ignore your employees. We're all happy.
Yeah, everyone's happy. Well, let's get out of some vaccine stuff and get into Georgia. So, as you know, all these companies decided that they were going to like leave Georgia over this fucking voting bill. And I was going to bring in an article about that, but there were so fucking many of them and they all sounded the same. So I thought it was kind of pointless. But who does give a shit about the fucking voting bill in Georgia and all these companies leaving?
So what's the voting bill? What is it? Because I've never heard of it until now.
So they got a bill that they were passing where they wanted to change the way that absentee ballots are cast. So they're basically getting away of the like no like reasonless like mail-in ballot. And people were fucking freaking smooth the fuck out about this. So you can still get your mail-in ballot, but Georgia already has voter ID laws where you have to show your driver's license, a state ID, something like that, whenever you cast your ballot, which is not very common for other states, but that's the way that they got it set up.
Our state has it. You have to show ID when you go to the polls, and that can be a driver's license, a student ID, anything that has your name on it, including your voter registration card, which they mail you when you register to vote, which is what I usually show when I get asked. I'm just like, yep, here you go. There's the little card. All right, goodbye.
And they also made it so that you can't have someone else mail in your ballot, which was kind of... There's actually a bunch of weird shit associated with this. One of the Georgia legislatures said that God told her that they don't want people voting on Sunday. And they had to fucking negotiate with this bitch. So during the month where you could have extended voting, that you're only allowed to vote on one of those Sundays.
Oh, God doesn't want you voting on Sundays. That's that's right there in the commandments, man. No.
Well, I would argue that
by not voting.
I would argue that God doesn't want you to vote at all. That's my argument.
Yeah, well, he appointed kings for us to follow. So why are we doing all this democracy bullshit?
Yeah, for real. Now every news article you can guess exactly where it's going, and the thing is they're not exactly wrong. So they're saying that this will largely affect the impoverished, the elderly, and minorities, and they're not wrong. Because really what they're doing is anytime you add an extra hoop, they're trying to do the calculus and figure out who they can get to not jump through that hoop. And they don't want them voting Democrat. And so,
by the way, it affects the cripples too, because the one time I voted and my wife, I I voted for Trump the second time around because I really didn't like the idea of RoboCop being president. So off of that alone, I just checked Trump on the ballot. And my grandma is the one that took it to City Hall for me. So if it wasn't for that, I would have not voted.
No, they're still letting immediate family members cast your ballot for you or a caregiver, but they wanted to try to curtail ballot harvesting. So they didn't want any third-party source, like basically signing other people to register to vote, and they didn't want them casting or mailing in their ballots for them. And that one I'm kind of up in the air about. I'm kind of like, yeah, both sides fucking do it, and they're both saying, they're both nixing them. All right, that's a miss. I don't really give a shit about that. But Georgia has some fucking weird laws about getting your license suspended, by the way. So if you don't pay your child support for 60 days, they'll suspend your driver's license.
But you can still get a state ID.
Yeah, you can. But again, it's just another hoop that you got to jump through. And there's also there's some things that got expanded and some things that got shrunken. Some things that got shrunken down. Now the mail-in vote got shrunken down. They wanted to try to freaking put the kibosh on that as much as they could because they saw the numbers of everything that got mailed in from the last election, and the state legislature is largely very conservative, and they're like, "Fuck this! We'll never win another fucking election if we let this keep on sliding." And they say it's for voter security and to try to prevent fraud, but there's no real evidence that there was a systemic issue with voter fraud.
No, they just focused on the couple of precincts where they needed to in Atlanta. So, I mean, that's a huge misnomer to say there was no widespread, because it wasn't statewide, it wasn't nationwide, but you pick a few key areas, and the way that our stuff is set up, you can swing a whole state by swinging the big districts.
Yes. But whenever I saw this whole thing where people are accusing everyone of voter fraud and they were talking about renewing all these voter laws, I'm like, God, this is so fucking bullshit, because the amount of misinformation is crazy. All that showed me is that nobody has any idea how our voting system works, because it's like that by design. Everything's local. Everyone has their own system of running the thing. So every single one of these systems is run by some fucking yokel that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing because they got a government job. And of course, it's going to be a complete fucking shit show. All of them are. But, life is like, some people say that everything's a contest. Everything is a game. And both sides are playing the same game. They both know the rules. And any fraud that's out there, both sides are trying to play the system as best as they possibly can. And like that, I know for a fact. And voter fraud really isn't a huge widespread issue. So the foundation that wrote most of the addendums that they wanted to put on this law was the Heritage Foundation. And in the Heritage Foundation's own sources, since 1982, there has been 1,317 cases of voter fraud nationwide. It's really not that big a deal.
That's not a large number.
But then I have to ask the question, how much does so your prosecutor's a Democrat, your prosecutor's a Republican, how much does that guy want to prosecute the other side for this, based on the knowledge that his side's doing it too? And how much of it is like a quid pro quo, like, all right, we'll let you slide on this one, this little bit of fraud?
You got to win those two coin tosses, because when it comes to local things, there's a lot more diversity when it comes to the court system than other areas of everything. Because these are largely appointed things by the state legislature, so usually the judiciary tends to lean a little bit more conservative. Now you are going to have the lead prosecutor people, and that's an elected position, but that's not something that just gets like discounted wholesale. Now, there is something that I found. I've been wondering about this shit for the longest time. Every time there's an election, you always hear someone be like, well, there's 30,000 illegals that voted in this shit. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know? Where are you getting this from? Where is it even coming from? I finally found it out. Okay, so the Cato Institute did a study on this, and it's the CCES surveys. So they got a bunch of respondents, and if you're an immigrant and you're not allowed to vote, there's a bunch of things that you're basically clicking off in the census. And one of the things that's inside those boxes where they're like, are you an immigrant? Yes. You know, and do you have a job? Yes. And then this is one of those segments where you largely just go down the line, just clicking yes on everything, because that's what you would assume. But one of those is, did you vote on the last one? And so they look at those people's self-reporting and then they act like that was actually accurate versus looking at the voter rolls to see if that actually happened. That's where they get those numbers. It's all self-reported shit that they're totally misrepresenting to, you know, get the clickbait. I mean, that's all the news is now. It's just fucking clickbait. They try to find the biggest number, throw some shit out there, see who bites.
Yeah. On this, though, I think the bigger problem, the bigger who gives a shit, is why do these corporations like Coca-Cola and United Airlines and stuff, like, why do they give a fuck? You're not involved in elections. You sell soda. You sell airlines. And you're going to condemn a whole state based on a law when there's, you know, similar laws across the country, and you know, Major League Baseball pulled their game to Denver, I think, out of protest for this, putting who knows how many people out of potential jobs. And all of it comes down to, like, you're a corporation. It's not your concern in the slightest. Like, just fucking play your baseball, sell your soda, fly your planes, and then shut the fuck up.
And okay, so there is a silver lining to all this bullshit. Okay, so about these companies. So I was looking at Coca-Cola, Delta, MLB, all these companies that are publicly traded. And then I looked at the day that they announced that they were going to be leaving Georgia and what happened with their stock prices. And guess what? No one gave a shit. It didn't make it go up. It didn't make it go down. It was largely flatline. Kind of like when Coca-Cola had their Be Less White thing and their sensitivity training. It didn't affect their stock price at all. And the only one that ever had like one of those publicized events that was associated with the shit that really affected their stock prices was Nike when they did the Colin Kaepernick thing. And it wasn't immediate. It took a couple of days, and then it was a steady climb after that. They saw that they got some reward out of that. Now, if people literally continue to do this, where they just literally don't care, and they see that them doing this isn't going to give them any gain monetarily, they'll fucking stop. Which, it hopefully that trend continues and that people stop whispering in these people's ears, and it will stop, because I don't want companies involved in our politics. I want the world to be a little bit less cyberpunk, you know, that would be nice.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you there, because I'm a young kid going into marketing. And the more we have these multi-million-dollar conglomerates just doing political messages instead of actually selling products, that makes my job easier. All I have to do is be like, hey, we here at General Motors believe in liberal bullshit. Hey, buy our car. Like,
CJ, you're effectively a Bond villain. We expect this from you.
No, I think that's a good point. I think that largely now these days, like, nothing's new. Like, everyone knows what Tide does. Everyone knows that Coca-Cola is diabetes in a can. So you can't sell me on your product because I'm already just consuming your product. So what can you sell me on is like this feel good thing that, Coca-Cola is not going to be in Georgia because they don't like voter ID, and I don't like voter ID, so I'm going to drink Coca-Cola. And I think that's really the downfall of marketing. That's why commercials suck.
Oh yeah, but they definitely do suck. And part of me died a little watching the Super Bowl commercials. But then over time, I realized, wow, this is going to be a really easy job. Like, I can just gamble on my phone all day and be like, sure, whatever. Johnson & Johnson bath soap loves black people. Put that on the label.
Yeah, no shit, right?
How long before companies get smart, though, and it's like, all right, Coca-Cola, we're going to split off. It's going to be the exact same product. It's going to be called, like, white supremacy cola. And so you'll have Coca-Cola that supports minorities, and then we'll have white supremacy cola, and we'll just sell them both. Everybody, we're putting all the same money in the same pockets, but we get to kowtow to both sets of groups.
Yeah, maybe they're already doing it. Isn't that what Royal Crown Cola is?
I think they're a different company.
Yeah, they are. I just know a bunch of white supremacists that love RC Cola for some reason.
It's like people that don't shop at Walmart, but they do shop at Sam's Club. They get the satisfaction of not shopping at Walmart, but you're still shopping at Walmart.
Yeah. And, this whole voter thing, I went on Flo Euphoria's podcast with Joe Schmo, and they were talking about some of these voter ID laws, and they were kind of shocked when I told them my stance on this. I was like, no, I don't support the voter ID laws. I don't think that voter fraud is a systemic issue, and it's an enumerated right, and your right should be protected, and it should be easier to vote. I'm not going to believe that these people give a shit about people voting until they have election days as national holidays and give people off work and make it easier to vote. And they were like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, no, but also my opinion doesn't matter. I can't vote anyway.
I think it should be harder to vote. I mean, you see people on Twitter and you're just like, that guy gets to vote and I get to vote. Fuck this shit. Like the Tide Pod challenge or like anything that's on Live Leaks. And I just go, these people are probably fucking registered to vote.
Well,
if you have Cardi
your voice
B,
matters more because Tab, I'm
you
sure
have
the people
Cardi
listen to your
B,
podcast.
I'm gonna say this right now. If you have Cardi B in your Tinder profile connected to your Spotify playlist, you should not be able to vote.
Oh fuck. Well, and also on the flip side of things, I'm not a fucking asshole about people that want to disagree with my stance. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't know why people started getting in their feelings about every single little fucking belief that they have and then wanted to, I don't know, maybe it's fucking people constantly screeching online and being able to block people about like shit that they don't like to hear or something. I don't know. I mean,
it's because social media is overwhelmingly women. It's like 3/4 women on all the different social media sites these days. Every single social media site is, I think the biggest one for men is like LinkedIn, and that's at 25% of the users are male.
I wonder why. The one that has to do with work and actually doing something with your life is the one that men are the most present on. Makes you wonder.
I'm so shocked.
And women are like, they're all feelings. That's the way they work. They have no ability to empathize with other humans. So they just assume they know what's going on inside your head and they hate you.
Yeah.
I'm on academic
all the time warps your fucking brain.
I'm on academic probation because of a woman's feelings. The whole reason I'm on academic probation is because of a woman's feelings. So,
and women can't separate. They can't separate things, right? So, like, there are guys that I work with, or I used to work with. There are guys that I used to work with who I just like fucking hate, couldn't stand them, but I got to work with them, so got to make do. And women can't do that. They can't separate a person and what is going on. That's why we can't separate actors and their opinions anymore. That's why we can't separate politicians, from their parties. Everything is the same as everything I don't like. Everything I don't like is everything else I don't like, is the way I describe it.
Yeah. It's like the Dick Masterson theory about everything being Harry Potter for a woman.
Yeah.
Like everything's got to be Voldemort, and I'm a Gryffindor, so I hate it.
I think the new Harry Potter, at least for chicks my age, 19, 21-year-olds, it's the Vorax. I fucking all the time, these quotes from the Vorax, left and right, Tinder after Tinder, Vorax. It's like
the Vorax.
You don't know the Vorax?
No, I mean, I remember reading the book way back in the day, but I don't know, did they fucking watch the Dr. Seuss movie and they're like, that is effectively me. I am a short little squatty hairy thing too.
Well, it's like, I first heard it in my feminist class, and then it connected in my brain, and that women talk about this stupid movie all the time. But they see white man as the guy that is killing all the trees. That's how they see white men.
Yeah. Yeah, back in my day, we didn't have the Lorax. We watched Captain Planet and the Planeteers, and we cheered on those eco-terrorists. All right. Well, let's get out of talking about some voting and get into your favorite segment, CJ, To Catch a Redditor. All right. Well, let's play To Catch Redditor about this whole voting situation.
On r/politics, Cosgul posted, "My wife did ballot curing for the November election. Curing is helping people whose ballots had been rejected fix the problems to get their votes counted. First, she did Nevada, where she described the process as annoying but possible. Then she did Georgia for the runoffs. My wife described the voting process in Georgia as Orwellian, dystopian, and like a third world country. She cried halfway through her first day because the hoops and hurdles placed before these people to vote were so monumental that she thought no matter what she did, it would be pointless. Then she cried again, imagining how the voters of Georgia must feel. And she cried a third time when both Dems won the runoff, but those were tears of joy.
Tab, I could hear your fucking eyes roll.
Anytime someone throws the word Orwellian out, it's like, oh, it's Orwellian. Like, do you even understand what that word means?
Yeah, the government is just watching you so closely to make sure you have an idea. Look, it was like a third world country out there in Georgia, and this bitch cried 3 times about the. Look, okay, this dude, whoever the fuck he is, divorce this chick and get the fuck out of there, because she's dragging you through an emotional ringer every fucking day.
Well, I also wonder, so you did the Georgia one. I would think maybe you did a local election, you know, somewhere near you where you live, and then you go across the fucking country and do it again somewhere else. Like, what is that?
Look, the world was in danger from the Orange Man, and if he got elected again, everything would effectively be over. You know, it would just be the end. The white man would take over, and you know, it would basically be, you know, the Fourth Reich. It's all over. So
Fifth
I'm sure
Reich.
in her mind, she's saving
Fourth
the
Reich.
world and crying the whole time while doing it.
Well, the next time I go to Atlanta for football, I'll have to tell everybody that I'm in a third world country.
Have you ever cried at work?
Not once.
Nope.
Yeah. Like, fucking, you're crying because your job is so hard? Jesus Christ. And this guy's proud of his wife, too. This guy's like, my wife is a hero. She's saving the day for others to make
Stunning
them
and brave.
fucking, what a cuck. What a just pathetic human being.
I know, it's fucking bad. All right. So let's play it to catch Redditor about vaccine hesitancy.
On r/news, Baron Von comments post. I am so fucking sick of the people who have made this pandemic worse than it should have been. If someone has access to a vaccine and doesn't take it without a legitimate medical reason, they should face consequences of some kind. Edit. We have 3 FDA-approved vaccines now. There is no excuse. And I, like most Americans who have been wearing masks and isolating, are fucking out of patience. Going to the ER feels like a death sentence. Visiting family feels irresponsible. For a year. Because people couldn't get their shit together and distance, isolate, and wear a fucking mask properly. Now that we have a way out, some assholes want to whine about the FDA approval process? No. Fuck them. And being wary of vaccines is so far from being scientifically justified, it deserves as much respect as, but I'm gluten sensitive. Lives are at stake. Take the fucking vaccine. Number 2.
Oh,
A
God.
new account just to tell me to fuck off because they aren't getting the vaccine. Pathetic, laughable, and deserving of scorn.
It's not FDA approved. It just has an emergency use mandate. That's why you can't require it for schools.
Well, that's my story that I brought in is actually going to get into the recall of one of them because people are having.
And whoever the fuck made an account just to troll this person, you're fucking champions. This is why the internet is like brings me hope occasionally, because you see someone that is such a piece of shit, you see them and you know that it'll ruin their fucking day and they won't be able to shut the fuck up if you just say one little thing at them and then they totally melt down. It's so great. And
the guy saying that he hasn't seen his friends or family in over a year, it's like, what are you fucking doing then? Like, my 2 best friends and I have been getting together every week for the last year, or over a year now. We get together, we watch movies, we cook dinner. You know, we've been trying different food and trying cocktails, having a great time. Both of them have gotten sick. I haven't gotten sick, but there was no I'm not going to not do that. I have all the free time in the world. We used to work all the time, all three of us, and never could get our schedules synced up. So when the time came to suddenly be able to hang out, we just did it. I've seen my family. I've driven across the country. The only thing keeping you from doing those things is yourself. So just stop doing that. Don't fucking whine to me that I'm not getting a vaccine so you can't see your family. You can just see your family.
Yeah, I never stopped tabletop gaming. I stayed playing Dungeons and Dragons. I had an essential job. I was dying for the Dow. So, what the fuck do I care? And plus, I did the risk. I drive a car. I run the risk of dying. I would randomly get in gunfights with people. I don't give a shit. You think I'm going to slow down because there's a fucking disease out there? No, I'm going to live my fucking life. You can't live your life in fucking fear. Otherwise, you never lived at all.
Yeah, your whole, I mean, like you said, you get in a car. Every time I get in a car, there's a risk that either I will not stop paying attention and flip off the road and explode, or some woman will rear end me.
Yeah. Oh, you need to come down to Texas so we can race sometime, Tab. I challenge you.
What kind of car do you have?
I have a 1992 Nissan Skyline GTR.
Oh, GTRs are good. Those are fast. Is it a turbo?
That's a cool car, you guys.
They come twin turbo.
That's a cool car, you guys, but I have the Permobile C500, and that's got more horsepower in it than any car on the market. It goes an astonishing 5 miles per hour.
Well, we need to soup this bitch up fucking Filthy Frank style. All right, well, let's keep on going with the catch a Redditor. So here's one about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
On r/news, Farrah Chan's post. Got it 2 days ago, and 31 female with a deep fear of blood clots. Gonna be bugging for the next 2 weeks. Porsche Black post. It's amazing how the same people who don't care about a disease with a 1.7% mortality rate are suddenly outraged over a 1 in a million adverse reaction.
So because we told you were stupid for being afraid of the virus, we're now stupid for you not wanting the vaccine. Okay. All right.
That tracks. That makes sense to me. Oh. Well, okay. I got one more about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. All right, here we go.
Also on r/news, Cinder Jacket post. Let's get it clotted in here. XY Sode responds, everybody. Clots, 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 clots.
It's nice to see that people have a sense of humor about this shit.
I certainly do.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get out of To Catch a Redditor. All right, CJ. So what's the last topic that you're bringing in, man?
So I brought in the recall of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And I have here, this is an article that I picked up from MSNBC. And I have here a quote from Johnson & Johnson's PR company that I would like to read. The safety and well-being of the people who use our products is our number one priority. We share all...
Didn't they put asbestos in baby powder?
We share all adverse event reports about individuals receiving our COVID-19 vaccine, along with our assessment of these reports with health authorities and compliance with regulatory standards. We are aware that the thermobiotic, I don't know what that means, events, including those with thermotrypiremia, have been reported with the COVID-19 vaccine. As present, there are no clear casualties or any relationship established between the rare events and the Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. So what that was there was a cope my Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
And
Damn, CJ, you might want to try to rehearse that one first before you fucking read that. Jeez.
oh yeah, that's my Maddox impression of the week. I'm sorry you had to hear me read, but that's what it is. It's a cope, and Johnson & Johnson is actually blaming the people who got blood clots and not their defective vaccines. And they said it had to do with the health of the individuals who received the blood clots, and it had nothing to do with the vaccine. Now, I don't believe this at all. However, I do encourage everyone that's going to get the vaccine to get them, because you people need to know what it's like to be Dick Clark. I'm tired of hearing you people. I want you to not be able to talk out of the right side of your mouth. I love the idea of me, a crippled man, just rolling along, and everybody around me is exploding from blood clots, and they look like they're about to count down a ball drop. It's great. So if you want the vaccine, get it, because the people telling me to wear a mask and shit, they need to develop some kind of retardation, because I'm tired of all this.
Yeah.
So,
it's exhausting.
Yeah,
Well,
get your vaccine.
Well, we all know why the Johnson & Johnson vaccine got pulled. It was Q protecting us from the reptilian DNA. And, and
it's
people
just
freaking out about these clots. To my knowledge, there's like 6 people that they could really link these clots to killing them, and they were all women. And of course, because it's women, we have to like care or something.
Well, we're also seeing, I don't know if it's the Johnson & Johnson one. It's not as, the Johnson & Johnson one hasn't been adopted as widely as the Pfizer and the Moderna one here in the United States. And we've seen miscarriages on both the Pfizer and the Moderna ones at 12 weeks. It's weird though, because, you know, for the last year, everyone who died, you test positive for the China virus and then you die. It was from the China virus. No matter, you know, you've diabetes, a heart condition, you have all these other risk factors that contributed. Nope, only the China virus. But now with the vaccines, you get immediately sick. It's like, I don't know, that's something else. That's your lifestyle, not ours.
Yeah, my favorite was when they did a Herman Cain like that. He had been dealing with liver cancer for like 4 years on and off, and then he dies instantly, and they're just like, oh, it's the China virus. The China virus killed Herman Cain.
Except for George Floyd. He was murdered by the police.
Yeah.
Well,
that trial just happened. Found the dude guilty on everything. Crazy.
Derek Chauvin's knee actually was carrying the coronavirus at the time of the incident.
These medical companies coming out and being like, we care about our people. It's like, you have this huge track record of just like fucking people over and then trying to get out of having fucked them over with any way possible. Like, yeah, I totally believe you when you say you care about the people who buy your stuff.
Yeah, everybody knows that's not the fucking case. You know, we got our for-profit health system, so they're like, oh yeah, we care about. Like, no, you care about the money and you care about not getting sued. That's why you were pushing for exemptions from litigation. Like, don't fucking feed us this bullshit. But you know, whatever will get people to fucking shut the fuck up so they can open crap up again. You know, it's whatever. You know, they want to, you know, run the risk of getting clots because, you know, they're on birth control and they're a chick or whatever. You know, that's fine. Whatever we get them to quit being less hysterical. You know, whatever. Just get this shit done with.
I mean, if they don't open things up, what I think is going to happen is there's going to be it's kind of like how my poker rooms are right now, where it's a cool underground society, and it feels like 2 years ago. When you go into a poker room, it feels like 2 years ago. No one wearing a mask, everybody drinking, we're talking shit, we're smoking, we're doing all the things we're not supposed to be doing. And none of it is 6 feet apart either. It really does feel like you're just rolling into 2 years ago when you sit down at the table. And I think that's going to happen eventually. There's going to be people like me who branch off, and there's going to be like a grocery store for cool people to go to at night hours. And the Karens will have their grocery store during the day.
Yeah, hopefully people will chill out fucking sooner rather than later.
I think what's going to happen is there's never going to be an official announcement where they like Anthony Fauci's never going on TV and saying like, "Yep, we beat it. Everyone got vaccinated. Everyone wore their masks. We locked down and social distance. So it's all over. We're back to business as usual." What's going to happen is what we've already seen happen, and we're just going to slowly like creep and crawl our way until everyone is just kind of bored of it and has given up on the stress, and we open up, and there'll probably still be signs like wear a mask, socially distance. There'll probably still be waivers where you have to say that you won't hold places liable if you get COVID-19, but you won't, and that you'll sign, like when you buy a ticket at Ticketmaster, it'll be in the fine print. Like, yeah, I'm going to go see Guns N' Roses live, and I also don't hold Ticketmaster responsible or the venue or the band or any of these people if I get COVID-19. And that'll just be a box on everything you go anywhere. It'll be at the bottom of your Walmart receipt. Like, by buying groceries at Walmart, you will not hold Walmart in responsible if you get the flu. And then people will still choose to wear masks, and people will still choose to socially distance and get these yearly booster shots. But largely the world will return to normal, and we can just stop crying.
Yeah, if anything's going to get the people to stop wearing masks, it have to be whenever enough people get robbed, and they're like, all right, we got to fucking stop this mask shit. I'm really getting tired of people robbing people.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's get towards the end of our episode and get into some voicemails here. But before we do that, let's be sure to follow us on our Twitter at WGA Shit Show, and also we have our new Patreon, patreon.com/WGA Shit Show. You got anything you want to plug, Deb?
Crippled and Convict show, for the bonus show, I want to remind people that if you are a Patreon at the $5 level, you can call in. You can message the Twitter with whatever problem you have, whatever advice you need, and we will
also
either
the suggestion
play the
section
voicemail.
in our Discord.
Yeah, we will play the voicemail or read it on the show.
Yes, please do. If you have some suggestions for advice, shoot it our way. We'd love to talk about it. So, you got anything you want to plug, Tab?
Yeah, you can listen to me more on Here's What I Don't Get over at hwidg.com or on Patreon, patreon.com/hwidg. Each week, my co-host and I both bring in some issues, some stuff that we don't understand, and discuss it and talk about some news and play voicemails, much like all the other podcasts you're listening to. So yeah, check us out. We've had Cripple Jesus on several episodes, and we'll have to get Adam on an episode here coming up. We're
love to.
Coincidentally, about a week ahead of where we're supposed to be, because we've got an episode coming out this week that has Mad Cucks in it as a guest, which I'm sure is going to be confusing for everybody. And then we have some guest requests of longtime voicemailers that are going to be in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, check that out. Here's what I don't get.com.
Yeah, be sure to check them out. Been listening for a long time. It's a fantastic podcast. But let's get into some voicemails here. Let's see. Here's our first voicemail of the week.
So, I got a random question for you guys. So, I'm sitting there this morning taking a piss when I first wake up like a fucking cowboy that I am. It dawned on me that, the average guy, a lot of dicks throughout his day, right? Just from the gym, from the locker room, whatever it is. Just part of life, human anatomy, whatever, grow the fuck up, right? So, here's my question. Adam, at one point spent a lot of time in a facility that, may have had changing rooms and, things like white t-shirts, white boxers, but CJ also sees a lot of nurses help people, possibly in a day-to-day or throughout, the last 50 years of his life. I'm sure he's seen nurses help people, possibly. So I don't know who has seen more dick.
It's me.
Once you guys weigh in, thank you. Love the show as always.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Adam on that one.
All right, I'll give you a quick anecdotal story to let you know why it's me. When I first came into intake into TDC, I went through a place they call Butt Naked Gurney. The reason they called it Butt Naked Gurney is if you were just out there on the wall, like walking anywhere, you could be going to chow, you could be going from dorm to dorm, wherever, it didn't matter. They were liable to just yank you out of the line, make you get butt naked, so they could see if you have any contraband, and then you get your clothes up and keep on walking. So you're going to the chow hall, there's like 2 dudes naked getting stripped down wherever you go. They'll strip down the whole fucking pod, where they line everybody up along the wall, they make everybody get butt naked, they make you fucking lift up your nuts in front of them and run your hands through your hair and shit like that. Yeah, you see a lot of dicks. You see a lot of dicks.
This guy's saying he sees a lot of dicks every day. I've seen 1 dick every day. That's it. I'm not just seeing dicks places.
Well, dicks got a way of making themselves known.
Maybe I might see 2 dicks on accident, if I'm gonna walk, because I have an open bathroom. So if I'm rolling by my bathroom and I just happen to see my dad on the toilet, that's it. But that's not even every day. I'm with Tam on this one. The only dick I see every day is my own. I mean...
Yeah, I've seen hundreds and hundreds of dicks. It's, I'll never forget.
The look on
let's go.
The look on your face is just like, yep, another day, another dick.
It's not just another dick, it's dicks. There's so many. There's so many. But, you get to dispel a lot of myths about that type of shit, though, so I know where I'm at. I'm fine. All right, so let's get into the next voicemail.
So, this is a question for advice. I was listening to the, Dickman show with, Rim and Randy and Ray, and I'm in a conundrum. So I've been listening to the show for a couple months. I'm on their Patreon, and, I didn't realize until they were talking about Jules, the former co-host with, the other Pinkman episode, whatever it used to be, the advice podcast. I realized I fucked her at a bar. I picked her up on a business trip. We were talking on Instagram, and then I met her, and I kind of fucked her. So my advice is, my question is, do I still listen to the Rich Dickman show, knowing I fucked a whore, or do I not listen? I like the show, but I'm confused. And no, this is not a joke. I don't know what to do, boys. Thanks.
All right. So, short answer is yes. Listen to the show. If you like it, listen to it. Second part, you need to quit snitching on yourself, man. So I got this voicemail last week, and I went on the Rich Dickman show the last time that he recorded, and I was able to actually slyly slide this in there without them realizing that I was actually asking on behalf of someone else. But then he had to jump the gun and call in and talk about this on, to them too. You could have found out without anybody knowing. Look, man, stop snitching. That includes yourself.
It's good advice.
Right, yeah.
Also, too, just future advice, buddy. If you start calling in the podcast to talk about girls you fucked, everyone, the immediate reaction is going to be, that didn't happen. So maybe don't do that.
I believe him. All right.
No, I know. We all believe him, but there's going to be people out there that are like, oh, this guy just bragging about pussy he never had.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be people that are disbelieving of whatever, which is the point of the podcast. Don't believe it, motherfucker. All right. All right, let's play this next voicemail here.
So I'm listening to the episode that just came out on Saturday. I missed the live because I'm a wage cut. And I would like to bring up the point that at 33 minutes in, CJ casually mentions he was a football coach.
Oh, hold on. Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, so the high school I was going to made my Make-A-Wish come true, and I got to be an assistant offensive coordinator on the sideline.
That's fucking awesome. Oh, all right, let's finish up the voicemail.
I would like to focus on this just a little bit and point out the obvious irony. So have a great day, boys. I love your work. Keep up awesome, amazing highlight to my Saturdays. Thank you.
Oh, appreciate it. So you were an offensive coordinator coach for your Make-A-Wish?
No, for my high school, I was the offensive coordinator of the high school for my junior and senior year of high school. I was making plays on the sideline.
So did you purposely make any play calls to see if you could get more cripples on your side? And just get some more cripples.
Well, my favorite thing is when we would do drills and drills were over, I would pick a player to go up to, and I would just be like, "Hey man, what's it like to run around?" And they would get all sad and like tiptoeing, trying not to offend me. And after about 5 minutes of them stuttering, and I'm just like, I'm only fucking around, man.
So when are they going to get RJ Minnie to star in the biopic about you, like Radio 2?
Oh,
by the way, Radio is on the short list of doing movie commentary.
We should do a movie commentary on Radio.
Oh, shit. Well, let's play the next voicemail here.
Adam, you didn't know? It was Gamergate. It was always Gamergate. The Netflix rating system changing because of Amy Schumer's shitty comedy special. YouTube removing dislike counters. Last of Us 2's Metacritic reviews being locked to where you can't see them. You don't get it, man. All roads lead to Gamergate. It was always Gamergate. Always has been. Always will be. What's up, guys? This is Merlot Williams. I really appreciate the show. The Gamergate discussion was hilarious because, yeah, people are still reading about that shit in 2021. Mundane Matt was on fucking Twitter saying, I'm sorry for the role I created in making this monster what it was. Motherfucker, you were pissed off that people were giving more credit to Mr. Medicare because he was more popular and more entertaining than you were. You were upset that they were paying attention to him and not paying attention to you since you made the video that originally got DMCA that kicked that whole mess off. But yeah, it's pretty cringe that people are still attributing every evil in the world to Gamergate in 2021. Keep up the great show, guys. Stay horny.
Appreciate it, man. Burlo Williams, Metal Gear expert, and man, when he brought up Mundane Matt, I hadn't thought about this fucking boulder loading fat piece of shit in so long. Like, oh man, fuck that guy.
That makes me want to bring up the question. What was bigger? Was it Mundane Matt's roll in Gamergate, or was it his fat rolls on his stomach?
Fat rolls in the stomach for sure.
That's a tough one, man. I'm not sure. Oh no, we'll have to think about that.
I mean, I don't even know who Mundane Matt really is, apart from they make fun of him on the internet. And I think he's just over-exaggerating his place in Gamergate.
Well, he's a gaslighting piece of shit that DMCA's people and then act like he doesn't. Sensitive ass motherfucker. And then at least Dick Masterson got to make fun of him and tell him that he liked Dame Pesos. Fucking soyless Matt. Fuck that guy. All right, let's play this last voicemail here.
So I got a random question for you guys. So, me and Flow Euphoria and one or two people we were talking to had a disagreement the other night. So I want it settled by Adam and CJ, hopefully once and for all. So if you've ever been at the point where you're as fucked, just completely fucked up, like you blink and your eyes take half a second to adjust, levels of fun, okay? And you stumble into Racetrack, Quick Trip, Chevron BP, whatever you got, in your area. You get a candy bar. And you get back to your car, you open it up. And you tell yourself it's going to be magical. It's everything you've ever wanted. And you open the fucking thing up, and it's like off-white. And it's not like moldy, but it doesn't look right. It's been stepped on. It's been in the back of the package, underneath the shelf. And you eat it because, in for a penny, in for a pound. And you realize this doesn't taste fresh. Have you guys ever had this happen to you, or am I the one surrounded by insanely cheap gas stations that I almost forget exist, and then I stumble into occasionally and get screwed over? So you need to know, ever bought, off expiration candy by accident at a gas station, and it ruined your day because you were so high? Okay, thanks.
The only thing I did at a gas station that would once expired, there was this gas station by my childhood house that would sell a flat Dr. Pepper, but then I figured out it was only Dr. Pepper, so I just got a Mountain Dew every time I went there.
Huh. I've never run into that issue because I don't buy candy bars when I was fucked up. So for me, if you're super high, you're super drunk or something, you need at least 3 meats on a burger to satisfy that craving. At least 3.
Protein's the solution to getting to, anytime anybody asks me, like, how do I get not drunk? Like, eat a lot of protein and drink a lot of water.
Well, I was going to say my favorite food when I'm drinking is I always get a bunch of chicken wings from whatever pizza spot and just eat those one after another.
I guess the short answer is, it's you, buddy. Stop buying fucking candy bars when you're fucked up, man. Don't get more sugar. Get something. Get the cheapest hot dog you can find.
By the way, I really appreciate that your dad likes the show. I don't know why, but when people tell me that, like, family members listen to the show, those stories always stick out in my head more than...
Yeah, he came and told me, he's like, yeah, I started listening to your buddy's show. It's pretty good. And I assumed he was talking about someone else. And I said, no, that CJ, Crippled Jesus, the Who Gives a Shit. And I go, oh, yeah, it is pretty good.
Well, fair enough. Be sure to follow us on all our things.
I gotta plug up my chair. It's been on red all day. It's blinking now.
So, that's all we got for this week. So, I guess stay horny, everyone.
Stay horny.
See ya.